life.
I messed up. I need to do better.
Dr. Mike is called out for partying maskless on a boat, and fans are upset. Before I get into the story, I just want to put out a disclaimer. Please do not send any hate to Dr. Mike, the party attendees, or anyone else involved in this story. This video is simply meant to report on the news and give some insight on the situation. On November 12th, Mikhail Varshavski, more commonly known as Dr. Mike, was spotted partying on a boat maskless in Sunset Harbour. Dr. Mike flew from New York City to Miami to celebrate his 31st birthday. On the boat, Mike was surrounded by 14 people who were all maskless, including himself. Mike's friends posted a photo and videos of the party on their social media.
This is our life.
This is our life.
An unrelated Instagram user took screenshots and shared the photo and videos and was later blocked by Mike on Instagram. Fans were quick to call out Mike for being a hypocrite. What frustrates me the most about this is the absolute hypocrisy. Even if I assume he was taking every precaution to be safe, he had stated time and time again to just stay home. I would love to have a birthday party, holidays, and normal get-togethers, but doctors like Dr. Mike have been pounding it through our heads that it's just not safe. And by being irresponsible and having large gatherings or unnecessary travel is like telling all the doctors and nurses, your life, I'll do what I want. So now I see one of the doctors I respected not only traveling to a major virus hotspot, but having a large gathering of people. Now the fact that he most likely didn't quarantine when he got to Miami, but didn't quarantine when he got back to New York because he was posting about going to work not long after his birthday, really pisses me off. I don't care if he gets tested regularly. It's going against everything he has clearly, loudly, and passionately spoken about for the past 8 months. Just a big yikes. It's not about the women or whatever they are drinking. To be honest, I don't think anyone really cares about that. Issue is that there's literally no room for social distancing, and I doubt a flimsy t-shirt will do a great job protecting anyone, especially when he is bringing his hands to the woman's head and face, then bringing it to his back to adjust his makeshift mask, then having people pour beverages into one's mouth. Imagine partying, then returning soon after to the hospital to work on vulnerable people. I would have loved to see him be a better example than this. I know that there are a bunch of other people in this video too, but I was definitely expecting much better from a physician, especially of a physician with a massive platform. Yes, I wrote a post about why this made me unsub here. It's literally such irresponsible behavior for a doctor with millions of followers to show that partying is okay during a pandemic. Other fans defended him. Wow, y'all idolize this man. He at a pool party, and most likely the people he is around are tested. He messed up once, and it messes up his whole life and your perspective of his. He forgot to wear his mask once, and it overthrew the mask he's been wearing at 12-hour shifts. Honestly, stopping seeing his as a doctor god and see him as a regular human being who is just as clumsy as you. What if everyone on that boat was tested and quarantined until results were out before actually heading to the party? That would seem like the most responsible action. It's a possibility. Being shallow or not, being him or not, don't people just deserve some fun? I was talking about this with my boyfriend yesterday. If a teacher wants to go to a concert, I don't know, maybe a Cardi B concert, people will judge him or her career-wise, lifestyle, personality, manners, all of it for a guilty pleasure. How can we tell if he's this or that from a video like this one? We can't tell if he's caring or an a-hole, if he's into deep stuff or whatever. It's just a video of someone having fun. Can we all chill? His life as a person is absolutely separate from his life as a doctor. He always says the fact and whatever is really good for you, but he isn't responsible for you not obeying his suggestion. I'm sure in his life as a person, he always takes care of himself as much as possible. Anyway, he is a human and can make mistakes. It's not a good action from you to speak up his private life. He is not a prophet. He can make mistakes. He's a great man though. Some people suggested that the photos and videos may be from the past before the virus. I had almost all my friends post videos and photos of old parties on their birthday or birthday of a friend as a reminder of the fun they had with people they miss, so I would not discard this as the case of this video. Okay, where'd this poster find the actual images? You think Mike is gonna post some images on his Instagram. You can kinda tell this account is supposed to shun Dr. Mike, unless y'all can find the actual time as to when it's posted, not from that account. I don't know. Where's the proof of date? These could be from a year ago. It's unclear when the photo and videos were taken, but some evidence suggests the party was recent. 5 days after Mike's birthday, one of the girls at the party, Juju, shared a set of photos modeling on a boat. The boat appears to have the same red cushions as seen in the video as Mike, and Juju was wearing the same bikini and hairstyle as seen in the videos with Mike. So, why was this party a bigger deal than usual? Some people noticed Mike's hypocrisy. Mike has advocated for social distancing and wearing a mask during the pandemic. He made several videos sharing this information with his large following of 6.5 million subscribers on YouTube. Here were some things he had to say about it in videos from March, April, and June.
Is it okay if I throw a mini party but we all stay 6 feet apart? The answer to this question is a hard no. Social distancing means physical distancing and more than 6 feet apart. The reason why we give the 6-foot guidance is in case you have to go out to do your grocery shopping or you're an essential employee like a doctor or nurse, then yes, 6 feet makes sense to mitigate the risk. Let's start by talking about social distancing. It's something that I've explained to my audience that's incredibly important. That's how we control the spread of this virus. The way we control COVID right now is by being responsible, both you and me. And that means keeping 6 feet away from others. That means wearing a mask at all times where you're encountering other people.
Then, on November 24th, Mike broke his silence. Mike apologized to his fans through his private Discord server. Mike explained how the trip was planned and said he looked at the CDC guidelines before attending the trip. "I'm sitting down and I have the time and want to make sure you know what's up. I looked at what was shared and my own thought is if I don't know me or the full story, I would have a lot of questions. Before even going to Miami, I cleared my trip with my medical team. Learned about restrictions for returning, including quarantine, testing, etc., so I wouldn't put my patients in harm's way. My friends totally surprised me with a private boat, and I right away looked into CDC guidance about both capacity and rules." Mike shared a screenshot from the CDC which explains the guidelines for dining and water activities, both stating different rules for facial coverings. Dining. CDC recommends wearing a mask while dining in a restaurant except when actively eating or drinking. Water activities. Do not wear a mask when doing activities that may get your mask wet, like swimming at the beach or pool. A wet mask can make it difficult to breathe and may not work as well when wet. Mike added, "This is very clear from the CDC." Mike also explained that he and his friends got tested for the virus before the trip. "Also, my friends knew I was nervous, so they reassured that everyone was tested as part of the trip. As we know, testing is not foolproof, but does dramatically reduce risk, especially in a private and outdoor aquatic setting, where transmission is naturally lower." Then Mike shared a quote from Dr. Anthony Fauci about the pros of everyone getting tested before a get-together. "Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good," Dr. Anthony S. Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert, said in a New York Times interview with Elizabeth Rosenthal. "The risk that you have, if everyone is tested before you get together to sit down for dinner, dramatically decreases. It might not ever be zero, but, we don't live in a completely risk-free society." Mike added, "Dr. Fauci agrees." Then, Mike reflected on his actions and apologized. "I know I should do better and not have taken the photo without a mask, as it can potentially send the wrong message or be used by those who want to discredit masks or what we stand for. I honestly was happy for the first time in almost a year, and I let my guard down, and for that, I'm sorry. Hope that makes sense and you guys understand. I wanted to leave you with my thoughts before you get busy with the holiday. Upon returning from my trip, I followed all New York quarantine rules and have been tested 3 times negatively each time and contacted my hospital's occupational health, told them my trip's details, and they gave me guidance for safe return, which I followed to a T." The crazy part is, the initial poster said such mean things about the women on the trip, while they are amazing humans and are like family. For me, in the beginning and throughout this pandemic, I've had to, at times, work and see patients by the dozens, sometimes without proper PPE, and I didn't care that my risk was so high. I know being outdoors, in water with close friends who were COVID negative and still wearing a mask at times is a much lower risk. The next day, on November 27th, Dr. Mike posted an apology video on his second channel, Dr. Mike Clips. The video was titled, "Admitting When I'm Wrong."
But even considering all that, even considering following the rules as the guidelines that are set forth, it doesn't matter. I messed up. I really did. And I need to do better. The reason I'm saying this is because of the impact of my trip. The impact can harm the medical message that I've been delivering from the beginning of this pandemic, that is serious.
Despite the apology, Dr. Mike's video received over 26,000 dislikes. Fans were upset that Dr. Mike posted it on his second channel. This should be on your main channel. This seems like he's just doing this apology for us. Like, why didn't he post this on his main channel? The fact that he didn't post this apology on his main channel low-key says a lot about him as a person. I said this once and I'm going to say it again. I'm highly disappointed at what he's done. Other fans were upset at Dr. Mike's apology. This is the most non-apology apology ever. Sorry I got caught. Rules for thee, not for me. I'm very disappointed in you. This was a calculated choice, not a mistake. The mistake was the photo being leaked. That seems to be the end of the situation for now. So, what's the big issue? Going to a large gathering maskless and the potential of spreading the virus through asymptomatic cases. At the time of the party, there were nearly 4,800 reported daily cases of the virus in New York and nearly 5,600 daily cases of the virus in Florida. With a large amount of cases, it is essential to social distance and wear a mask whenever possible to reduce the risk of spreading the virus. Although Dr. Mike said that he and his friends were tested negative for the virus, he cannot guarantee the people he ran into traveling from New York to Florida or from the hotel to his party were negative. According to the Mississippi State Department of Health, if your results are negative or not detected, continue to reduce your risk of illness by isolate yourself until fever-free for at least 48 hours if fever was present, practice social distancing, wash your hands, avoid non-essential outings. Dr. Mike and his friends also did not wear masks at their party. If any of them were to get infected while traveling to the party, they risk the chance of spreading the virus amongst the group. For some perspective, AALTOO University shared an animation showing how someone coughing without a mask can spread the virus over a grocery store aisle. While wearing a mask may reduce the risk for spreading the virus, it's not guaranteed if you are not properly social distancing. Japanese researchers claimed masks only prevent up to 80% of the virus droplets from spreading when someone coughs, and showed a visual of how the droplets can spread in a tight space. This is why it's important to determine how safely you can social distance yourself or if it's better to stay home. But that's not all. The risk of spreading the virus becomes even trickier when people are asymptomatic. So, even if Dr. Mike and his friends tested negative, there could be a chance someone may be asymptomatic. This means they have contracted the virus but show no symptoms of the virus and can still transmit it. The CDC actually recommends that asymptomatic contacts testing negative should self-quarantine for 14 days from their last exposure. Why are asymptomatic cases such a big deal? According to Healthline, 20% of virus infections are asymptomatic but still contagious. For asymptomatic cases, it's even more important to practice safe measures since the symptoms are not visible. According to UC Health, Beckham's advice for staying safe and preventing asymptomatic spread of includes the following basic tips. Wear masks in public, keep gatherings as small as possible, maintain at least 6 feet of distance from others, comply with public health orders, avoid gatherings with groups outside of your family, be especially wary of indoor spaces with poor ventilation, limit time indoors in public settings, and always wear a mask. If you are outdoors and can stay at least 6 feet away from others and are not with anyone outside of your household, you can walk or exercise without wearing a mask. But if you are in crowded areas like a parking lot or trailhead, Beckham urges people to wear masks. Wash hands frequently. In the case of Dr. Mike's party, Dr. Mike would not be able to determine if the people around him are asymptomatic, and by attending a large gathering afterwards, he puts himself and his friends in danger of getting infected by the virus. Overall, while Dr. Mike has apologized for attending the party, fans have lost their trust in him and his messages toward the pandemic. What do you think about this story? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, hit the like button. To keep up on all the tea, consider subscribing to the channel.